So I've always thought that debating people online is pointless. I really think the debate culture was dumb. Because here's what a lot of these guys will say. You'll have somebody that just like makes jokes online, and then you'll have another guy like Vaush or Destiny or any of these like absolute like political nut jobs. I remember when Steven Crowder was gonna debate Ethan Klein, and I was like, this is just dumb. But then Ethan Klein did something really dumb by trying to like rug pull him. It's always dumb. It's just online debating has always been, I think, one of the dumbest things ever out there. And I just want this is kind of older. I think this is like 4 months ago, 4 years ago. Or not, I meant to say 4 years ago, not 4 months. This is like 4 years ago. This is just an excerpt. I wanted to play an excerpt of how the mindset is behind a lot of these debates and why there's so bad faith. It's almost always this way. You never can go in with like a normie perspective and just be like, I'm a guy that likes having fun. No, it's always got to be. It's always got to be like extra rules, extra steps, and this is one of the reasons why I just hate this type of mindset. And it's kind of the brain rot that is spread over to a lot of the bread tube and other parts of the YouTube landscape. We're going to put this on a quicker speed because I want to get through it fairly quick. But I just want you guys to hear like the brain rot what is about to happen.
And both of you should already have it turned on, but there's something called noise suppression, where basically like it filters out your background noise and it makes the audio a lot more crisp. So if you don't have that on already, just turn it on.
I should.
For chat questions at the very end. But
that's great. I just want to say that yes, I did in fact call Count Dankula a white supremacist on Twitter.
Hey, don't muddy the waters.
No, you've got the names mixed up.
Oh, look at this. Okay, let's boomer it out for a second.
So to be clear, this whole debate was about Vaush called Count Dankula a white supremacist, right? And I want to get to the part here. We're going to get here.
Engage in policies or other social actions to prioritize that group of people. There are a lot
of terms, and then and that's how we'll start out. But first of all, let's do introductions. Danko, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I.
White supremacist. I'm referring to a person who.
Here's his definition of white supremacist. Right? He literally. So this is what I wanted to get into. I know I've been kind of like this intro has been forever. I've been kind of all over the place, but here's what I really wanted to point out. This is where he calls white Count Dankula a white supremacist. Decides they're going to debate it on this thing, and he's asked the definition of white supremacist. Right? And here we go.
But Vaush, what do you mean? What is a white supremacist in your definition that you're using here?
Is this just me clarifying the term, or is this my general opening statement?
Just to clarify the term first.
Sure, yeah. So generally speaking, when I say white supremacist, I'm referring to a person who believes that there is A, some sort of fundamental distinction between the races, and B, one who believes that either the white race is superior in some empirical sense, or B, that we need to engage in policies or other social actions to prioritize that group of people. There are a lot of, for example, white supremacists who will say like, well, I'm not a white supremacist because I recognize that Asians and Ashkenazi Jews have a higher IQ, but fundamentally they still advocate for white people. They're supremacist with regards to their social policy. So yeah, my goal ultimately, I'm an egalitarian. I love black people and people of all races, and I'm just trying to make sure we all get through life.
I just love his fucking weird virtue signal here and stuff. It's like, oh, I love black people. Like it just. I don't know. I hated this. I remember seeing this, and I just remember, like, what the fuck are you even talking about, buddy? What the fuck is your even plan here, dude? You're just, like, saying shit to say shit. You're word salading a very simple premise. It's like, white supremacist, a dude that thinks white people are better than everybody else. Boom. That is the definition. It's that simple. But these type of people will try to fucking, to make it as basic and bullshit as they possibly can. They're absolute cum goblins when it comes to this shit.
Okay. Dankula, are you fine with that definition of white supremacist before we continue?
For me, like, I would go with the actual definition, which is a person that feels that white people are superior to all other races and all other races are or should be subservient to whites and things should be done only for the benefit of whites. Like white ruled countries, apartheid, that type of stuff, the actual definition.
By the way, him rolling his own cigarette during doing this is pretty fire.
Vaush, do you have any issues with that definition?
Yeah, that's not the actual definition at all. That's a highly unacademic definition of white supremacy. What that does is it sets the bar so high that there's no way to ever prove that anyone is a white supremacist because they would have to buy into a fuck ton of positions before they would actually fit that qualification. White supremacy can be as vague and indifferent as like...
It's nice when it's easy to put people in it, though.
White supremacy can be as vague and indistinct as like a Karen in some suburban neighborhood, like calling the police because she thinks there are some suspicious dudes outside because they're like black and they're just chilling. White supremacy can be very vague. White supremacy can be very definite. It's very difficult to pin down.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. This is what gets crazy, and this is a really good cutout from, and this is 4 years ago, right? This is a really good cutout of what led to where we are in the internet right now, where people are just like saying shit. They're able to hyperinflate everything to make it their points make sense. Why everything's fascist? Why everything's racist? Why? And it's you see it with the woke guys using the same strategy. Everything's woke. Everything's, and the reason why is because they take these terms, these buzzwords, right? And then they stretch out the fucking definition as far as they possibly can, to the point that it has no recollection to what the word originally meant. It has no actual understanding of what that word actually is. I mean, you take these people, like, and of course there's gonna be people who are gonna say, oh well, I'm not a white supremacist, like Nick Fuentes or whatever. But you can go and categorically look at everything Nick Fuentes has said, and then use examples from what he said to put it back against him. It's not like Nick Fuentes is out here being a comedian. No, he's a political guy. Like, it's like the same thing with Hasan. The reason Hasan is called, like, people call him like a terrorist sympathizer and stuff, is because there's categorical evidence against him being a terrorist sympathizer time and time again. It's to the point where even he'll look at something like Palestinians protesting Hamas, and he'll be like, oh, they actually are protesting Israel. And it's like, that's not what's happening. The people there will be like, no, we don't like Hamas. And he's like, well, no, you're wrong now. You're wrong. You need to support Hamas. To the point, it's like defending these groups. And you can say, wow, look at that. Look at that. We have this cutout. We have this thing that proves that he's a terrorist sympathizer, because there's enough things lined up to actually prove this. It's not like he's a dude that's getting up on stage making jokes about this shit where you're like, oh, no, it's a joke, though. It's not like where the dude, like, prefaces time and time again that he's a comedian, that you shouldn't take him seriously on any of these points. This guy's actually out here espousing his views. The same with Nick Fuentes. But a lot of these type of people, like Hasan, fucking Vaush, Destiny, what they like to do is they like to take people that make jokes and shit, and then like put them in the same camps as like some of these far right extremist type people. And the far right, the right wing guys will do the same thing. They'll take like a comedian, something, lump them in with these type of idiots. When I think that you can, it's funny how you can't actually just sit here, have like certain political leanings, but still make your jokes, just want to do your own thing without like these fucking weird political fucking nut jobs wanting you to debate them, and also like wanting you to espouse that your opinions are more than just jokes. They want you to be more serious. They want you to have ill intent, because they want to be the superiority on everything.
Where somebody falls in that spectrum. I'm just interested in promoting anti-racist policies and anti-racist beliefs. I'm sure Count Dankula is a libertarian and a lover of freedom, will agree with me on virtually every prescriptive statement that I have with regards to race, and we shouldn't really have much to argue about.
But I thought I was a white supremacist. I thought that was the point of this. And also, I do enjoy that your definition is very, very vague. That's awfully convenient. But I mean, I thought I was a white supremacist. That was.
Yeah, no. I just fucking typed up this. I meant to put debates, and I put Sabates, and after I hit live, I can't change it, so I just fucking ran with it. I mean, I'm glad that you're here and watching the stream, but yeah, no, I fucked up the title of this so bad. And the problem is I start my streams in OBS, so once I hit live, it's just kind of fucking set that way, and if I don't catch it right away, it's fucked, right?
That was what you said. We're here to debate that, so it's a case of, do you feel I am a white supremacist?
Oh yeah, that's definitely the impression of you that I get. I was making fun of your nominal views, but yeah, like we'll find out what you actually believe, right? Or actually, we'll find out what you're willing to commit to believing, because we can never actually know what a person believes.
But you see right here, he's muddying the waters. What he's doing is creating it to where Count Dankula, no matter what he says, Vaush is still right. And this is one of those things where I've noticed over the years, people that, these debate guys, all of these debate guys, it's whoever speaks the fastest wins. Because what they're doing is they're creating enough word salad there, they're throwing enough words into the ecosystem that is giving them enough little protection to where they're right at the end. And they're just going to browbeat you with enough fucking word salad that eventually you just take the knee. And I love the fact that Count Dankula knows what the fuck is getting thrown at. He heard all of that bullshit about like, oh, he's trying to talk about my other liminal views, like my fucking libertarianism, all this shit. But I thought I was here because you called me a white supremacist. I thought that's what the debate was for.
Okay, so
you could be talking shit when you say you love black people and love other races as well. Then
Yeah, of course, it's impossible to deductively prove whether or not a person actually believes something. It's not possible.
So the thing that we're going into this debate with is that white supremacy is a very vague term that can mean a wide range of things. And even if I confirm that I don't believe in any of those vague things, you never know what actually.
Well, and I'm not saying that Count Dankula is right on everything. I'm saying that like debates are stupid, and debating people like the brainlets like Vaush is just completely dumb. Like you say like I'm not saying you should agree with everybody on everything. I actually think you shouldn't agree with everybody on everything. I think you should like be able to watch somebody if because you find them entertaining and know that you are a different person and you have different beliefs. Everyone should have like the points that they disagree with. Like, I'm sure that there's a lot of people who watch my shit and hate everything I say, or they like some of the stuff I say, but they think I make too many cum jokes, or I say cum falcon too many times, or I make the wrong pussy joke, or whatever. And I'm sure that there's people who say that about me, but at the end of the day, I don't want everybody to agree with me. I think it's actually problematic to have people agree on everything. I think that it is you don't actually get any fucking actual progress if everybody agrees on everything.
Really believe, so I can still be classed as a white supremacist. Fantastic.
Well, if the debate plays out in such a way that none of the accusations I make are substantiated, and the only thing I can say is, well, we don't actually know, then I'd say you probably won that debate, wouldn't you? See, that's how it works. If we go by your logic, then we can never make any arguments about anything that has to be proven with inductive logic. We would have no way of knowing what anyone believes.
I was just repeating what you said.
Yeah, cool. Well, hey, listen, if I believe it or not, I don't like
Dude,
to.
I love that. He's like, so basically, no matter what I say, I'm still a white supremacist, right? And Vaush is like, well, yeah, but categorically, you can't prove anything. And word salad. And Dankula is just like, I'm a normal dude, and you sound like a fucking schizo.
Fact that there are white supremacists in the world. I doubt you do either. So if you're not one, that's great. It means one less person that I have to worry about on YouTube.com, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead.
Okay, what? Like he just word salads. He's like, oh, you're one less white supremacist. I have to make sure that the platform's safe because lolly enjoyer Vaush is out here taking down. Yeah, this is dude, this is Vaush. We're watching Vaush debate Count Dankula. I know this is old, but this is just a great example. I think it's one of the best examples to show why debating these type of people is pointless. This is why I never want Ethan Klein to debate Hasan. This is why I don't want any of this shit ever, because it never goes anywhere. The audience is going to go in, they're going to agree with whatever person they liked at the beginning, and it's never going to change a lot of minds. Now, Already, I think Vaush has lost this debate because he has moved the goalposts so fucking far because he went in knowing he was going to lose on the terms of proving that Count Dankula is a white supremacist. So he literally is just moving the goalpost.
Vaush, since you're putting up the accusation, I'm going to let you go first with the opening statement. Try to keep it somewhat short, and then we'll let Dankula go, and then the rest of the debate, it'll just be open discussion.
Sure. Okay. So I'm actually going to be reframing the context of the discussion a little bit for that inductive deductive.
Look, he was already reframing, but now he's saying he's reframing because he knows that he's going to make this so he can only win.
Line that I just laid out, because it is literally impossible to deductively prove what another person believes. This isn't usually the type of debate that I have. Like, what does a person believe? That's a very difficult conversation to have. So instead, what I think would be more interesting is if I proceed under the assumption of good faith, that Count Dankula is an egalitarian, and then I build up all the reasons why I have been led to believe that he is not, and I can see how he feels about the accusations that I would levy there. So my argument would not be, Count Dankula, you are a white supremacist, I will prove it, which is not possible. But instead, Count Dankula, I've been given the impression you're a white supremacist. Let's go over the reasons why.
Look at Count Dankula's face. He's like, I was here because you called me a white supremacist on numerous occasions, and now I'm here to prove that I'm not. But you don't want to argue about that. You want to make up some fucking word salad, bullshit fucking debate brain crap, and not actually debate me on my points. Oh, so you're a little short stack cum goblin. That's what you are. You fucking weird lolly enjoyer.
Interested in hearing your response.
That's not what you said, though. You said that I, in fact, am. You've said it several times.
Yeah, I have to inductively reason it, but I think for the purposes of the discussion, it's better to walk through my thought process as I come to discover your content and the way that you talk and engage with stuff, rather than presumptively making the accusation and then like post hoc going over all the assumed evidence. I think it's a better way to go over inductively.
It's just so I fucking hate this intellectual bullshit, right? It's just for me, it's funny because what they do is they stack up these arguments. They think, how can I come off as sounding like the smartest fucking guy in the room without actually bringing any categorical evidence that does anything, right? It's all about moving the goalposts. It's all about shifting. It's all about how fast can you talk and how fast can you get your points out into the ecosphere without actually like debating the actual premise that you're here to debate. I mean, the fact that he was willing to call this guy a white supremacist and then not actually try to categorically prove it in any way other than I'm going to move the goalpost and then I'm going to debate you on your beliefs. But we're doing it in the fact that we're going to go through my mindset on it because I'm the most important person in the room.
Reasoning. But yeah, I think that if I may, this will be the end to my opening statement. My guess is what's going to happen here is we're going to engage in good faith conversation for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then after that is going to devolve into increasingly irreverent back and forth bickering. You're going to say the term, "It's just a joke. Do you know what a joke is, mate?" or "I'm a fucking comedian" about 80 times over the course of this discussion. We're not going to have any way of...
Well, that's what he fucking is! That's what he fucking is. He does stand up. It's like, dude, like my channel, right? I started my channel because I used to do comedy, and I knew that I was moving. I moved to a small town because I grew up in a small town. I didn't want to live near a city. I wanted to have a family. I wanted to have the family life. So I knew that the stand up life wasn't gonna be for me, right? Knew that I couldn't do the stand up thing. So I was like, I'm gonna go on fucking line. I'm gonna make YouTube videos, and he grew up in Beverly Hills. I was wrong, but makes sense, yeah. But here's the thing, dude. I knew that I wanted to be a comedian, but I knew that comedian lifestyle wasn't for me, right? I wanted to be able to spend time with my family, and so I was like, the YouTube thing's for me. So I've been slowly learning how to influence comedy and stuff into what I do. It's always been my point. Premise has always been to get on here and make as many fucking jokes as humanly possible and have as much fucking fun with this shit as possible. But the funny thing is these political guys want you to be fucking serious all the time. They want every single fucking thing you say to be serious. So what they do is they then pull up the fact that you might make jokes as evidence against the fact that or evidence towards you being actually this awful thing. So what they do is they crippled away your ability to make a logical fucking reason why you're not a fucking white supremacist, right? It's like a logical reason, like, oh, well, you said this in the past. Well, yeah, dude, I'm a comedian. I make jokes about all races. I make jokes about like all the genders and gay stuff. I fucking talk about guys giving blowjobs under fucking overpass bridges and shit. That doesn't mean that I hate gay people. It means that I saw the joke, I thought the joke was funny, and I put the joke in the video. There was no more thinking than that. But these guys want more thinking. They want you to have these inherent biases. They want you to be sitting there under your shrine of Hitler, making love or making your little jokes. They picture you just in this most awful light possible, and then they try to cripple your defenses because that's the image they have in their head.
Reasoning out anyone's positions, and it will end up being a complete waste of time. So we're going to see how that goes.
Are we going head first in and saying that it's just a joke, I'm a comedian, are completely invalid arguments that hold
no, I just want to see how many times you say them.
And I love that he called this out right away, dude. Right away. Count Dankula's throwing his big fucking Scottish penis, bro, right on the table and saying, hey, oh, you little fucker. Nah, it's not Scottish. But he's like, hey, you little fucker. I see what you're doing. You're trying to play this, I'm so smart, I know exactly where this is gonna go. He's going to use, like, these distractions to try to say that he's not a white supremacist. Like, I'm a comedian, laughing, and all this stuff. When he knows that he has no actual argument going in. So he's trying to discredit anything he says before he has a chance to say it, which is so disingenuous, so bad faith. The whole thing's disgusting, and that's why debating these type of people is absolutely fucking pointless. You will never win with them because they're so ideologically captured that they're willing to move as many goalposts as they fucking have to always be right. They don't like being wrong. They will double down until the fucking end of the earth.
Totally valid arguments, and I have made them in the past.
Okay then, so basically you're probably going to ask me a lot about jokes I've made And the actual arguments that explain these jokes, you're trying to preemptively discredit those arguments by going, "Oh, if I tell him this, he's probably going to say this," when what I'm going to say is a valid argument.
The fact that you are preemptively defending the "it's just a joke" defense is very telling to the kind of conversation that we're about to have.
Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. So, do you see how he already moved the goalposts? Do you see how he fucking already did this? What he did was he said, when Count Dankula called him out for preemptively deciding, like, that he couldn't use these arguments, he then backpedaled and said, no, it's an actual excuse that I have used too, dude. Listen, I'm one of you guys. I'm an edgy boy. I'm just like you, Count Dankula, but I want you to know that I'm just saying that it's gonna happen. And then he talks about it. He's like, oh, so you're basically what you're saying is when I say and explain these jokes, you're gonna say that it doesn't work. And he's like, oh yeah, because it's you're already preemptively defending this type of shit, when he's put in the position of defending it because he's already said that those aren't good and reasonable reasons why he could say things.
But to be honest, I mean, I could
just preemptively try to discredit it.
Oh, no, because that's the thing. I've made that joke. Oh, last prediction. You're going to laugh a lot. It's going to be a good way for you to avoid actually arguing with me. But hey, I'm an edgy dude. In fact, I'm in trouble with the left right now. I've made the "it's just a joke" argument many times. However, it's not an all-encompassing argument. You can't say it's just a joke to everything and expect that there's no underlying biases that inform the reason you make those jokes. To me, making jokes about edgy shit like that is a little bit like making jokes about being a pedophile. Now, if you're an edgy boy, and I am, and you are, you know, sometimes making jokes like that can be funny if it's well-timed and well-paced and stuff. I accept that. I'm a big free speech warrior myself. But if you're constant...
I love that Vaush says he's a free speech warrior when he is talked about people being deplatformed time and time again, just for, like, what he decides is a white supremacist, which we already know can mean whatever the fuck Vaush decides that day. It's like whenever Spawn gets a new power, Vaush comes up with a new reason why people are white supremacists.
Making jokes about how you like kids, and you hang out with people who unironically say they like kids, and you foster communities full of people who say they like kids, and everyone underneath all your tweets is talking about how, ooh, yeah, they agree, kids are awfully nice to molest. Then I would start to wonder, how sincere is the joke defense, and how much of it is just you avoiding responsibility?
I'm not gonna lie, dude, I never noticed Vaush's ear, but, like, he's got, like, a built-in headphone holder. It's like a headphone koozie. It's like a hand growing out of his ear to hold his headphones.
The stuff you actually believe. So that's more or less the framing I'm going to be approaching this with. But hey, listen, if you're not a white supremacist, you should have a very easy time here because I'm the one who's making the attack. You're the one who's on the defensive.
So I let you guys kind of go back and forth there a little bit, but I want to give Count Dankula the floor now to talk.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. It's just the thing is, like, you know, see, whenever you are literally a full-time comedian that does stand up, you know, like me, whenever I say something that offends people, like I usually say it's just a joke, I'm a comedian. So it's a case of, you know, that is kind of the key argument behind my job, because it's literally what I do for a living. And I did see what you tried to do there, where you tried to, like, preemptively, like, go, I bet you're going to say it's just a joke. Well, of course, I'm literally a comedian. That wasn't a prediction, it was a certainty. It's what comedians have done since the 60s whenever they get challenged for their jokes. Right, so I don't like
exactly, dude. Exactly. This is so fucking, like, this type of mindset would have kept Lenny Bruce in jail. Now, if you don't know who Lenny Bruce was one of the first comedians to really push the bounds of what could and couldn't be said in comedy, and he was arrested a lot. He was panned a bunch, and I mean, George Carlin kind of continued what Lenny Bruce was doing. So it's just like when you look at, like, some of the historical context behind, like, Richard Pryor. Before Richard Pryor, there was Red Fox, and then Richard Pryor then led into Eddie Murphy with Kevin Hart, Bernie Mac, all these where they had similar styles, but they were doing their own thing. It's the same thing with Carlin and Lenny Bruce. Lenny Bruce was out there just saying the things that weren't allowed to be said. That was his thing. And though it was called like offensive and awful and he got arrested for it, he was still out there saying it because a comedy was about pushing down those fucking walls, going to places that people hadn't gone before. And the fact that this fucker right here is like, we need to rein it back in, we need to pull it back, and you're not allowed to hide behind it's a joke. Oh, no, you actually believe these things, you're actually a monster, which is just so disingenuous and so disgusting. I think
try to preemptively, you know, sort of shit stop the argument, but the fact is, as well, is, like, I don't really control who follows me or who likes me either. I mean, I've made pedo jokes and everything in the past as well. I've done that. Doesn't mean I'm a pedophile. I've made racist jokes in the past. Doesn't mean that I'm racist. They're just jokes.
All right. So I want to open up. Oh, sorry.
I've got a way to sort of do this right now. You feel that there's certain beliefs that obviously that white supremacists have, correct?
Well, yeah. I mean, they'd have to.
Well, why not ask me if I believe in those things?
Oh,
That's
sure.
probably the best
Yeah,
way to
the,
put it.
the answer is because I think you guys lie because you're spineless cowards. That's the main reason.
We can't have a good debate. We can't have a good faith debate because you're obviously liars. Because I'm always honest. I'm always this fucking moral, virtuous light at the end of the pier. People look up to me, Vaush, the lolly horse porn enjoyer. I am the actual like genuine person, and you are a fucking white supremacist liar. So if I ask you about any of the evidence that could categorically prove that you're a white supremacist, you're just gonna lie about it, right? You're just a fucking dirty, sneaky liar. When actually what could happen, you could ask him, well, what are your opinions on these things? And he could give you his actual opinion and say, well, you made this joke. Well, I made that joke. I thought it was funny. I didn't think that, I wasn't thinking about the cultural impact. I just think funny joke, put it in, I'm done. But my actual belief is this. Like, you can have different beliefs than your jokes actually entail. That's just such a fucking lame brain bullshit.
So I can ask.
So-
I mean, wait, really quickly. Do you know? Wait. You asked me a question. Wait, I'm just answering. Don't worry. We'll get to it. Okay. So, do you know a person called Nick Fuentes by chance?
Oh my god. See, I already talked about Nick Fuentes in this. This is so great because he's already what he's doing exactly what I fucking thought he did. Exactly what I fucking thought he was gonna do. He's gonna utilize some of these like extremists, right? And then put him in the same category as him. It'd be like me saying somebody that was like more centrist left. But see, me seeing them and saying they were basically Hasan or Vaush, right? Saying they were basically these fucking guys. It makes no fucking sense. It's not an argument. It's like me calling Bill Burr because he's left wing, saying that, oh yeah, Bill Burr's basically fucking Hasan Piker. That is such a disingenuous pull. And even though he's not making that, he's not 100% saying that correlation. The fact that he's bringing it up and putting it into the debate, like the debate sphere, it's just already proving that he's a fucking absolute dipshit.
Nick Fuentes is a neo-Nazi. Now, listen, free marketplace of ideas. I'll talk about anything. But dude's a Nazi. If I ask him, are you a Nazi? He doesn't say yes.
Dude, you can literally pull up the things he said, like, at any moment, and how he's fucking argumented the fact for these ideas that he has that are white supremacist ideas. He has 100% done that time and time again, talked about race in certain lights that you could then utilize the fact that he has said it, and then he has put the logic behind it to where that's his opinion.
The reason for that is because, especially on the platform that we're on right now, lying about your views is a way more effective way of disseminating them than just being open about it. If everyone who was a bigot just said, like, yeah, I'm a racist, welcome, we're going to talk about racism, then there probably wouldn't be that many racists in the world. But things like dog whistling are a very effective way of bringing people over. I would say that you're particularly bad at it. I would say the only people who can look at your content and not think there's an underlying bias are people who are willfully delusional or people who are biased themselves. But that's what we're here to discuss. I'm interested in that. Huh? Oh, AFK! Why has it been doing that lately?
Let's get to where...
Bring me back in. Faraday!
Let's get back.
Wasn't jumping on.
Let's get back to where I don't want to hear Vaush fucking yell at nothing. As soon as I saw that go red, I'm like, I'm not playing the fucking listen to only Vaush.
All right, here, I'm gonna, every 2 minutes, I'm gonna click my Discord thing. All right, sorry, wasn't jumping on out there. All right, hit me up, return.
Wait, video's on? Okay, yeah, we're good.
Yeah, okay, we're back, yeah. Sorry, it's...
So basically the setup to this is white supremacy is something that's very vague and it can be applied to very, very many things outside of the most commonly recognised or even the officially recognised definition. And regardless of what I say, people could still assume that I'm a white supremacist because we can never confirm what people truly believe. And also, regardless of what I say, it can be discredited as lies because white supremacists lie. What a convenient setup it is for you.
It's funny. Well, it's funny that you're retreating to this because this is how you discuss literally all ideas. So wait, really curious. I'm actually curious. Wait.
like any normal rational person would hear this fucking word salad he's throwing back and come to the same realization as fucking Count Dankula, like, oh, so you already want me to, you've already decided this is what I am and there is literally nothing I can say to change your mind. You're just here to fucking try to like, one, I think he's trying to grab some of his audience. I think that's what he's trying to do. I think he's trying to pull some of his audience from, or some of Count Dankula's audience to try to like gaslight them into believing he's a fucking Nazi, trying to fucking strawman every argument. This dude's using every bad faith argument in the book to put Dankula in a position where he cannot win, where there is no rational way that he can ever win this debate, because Vaush has set the parameters so fucking generically that there is literally, he could say something along the lines of, I love everybody and I want peace in the world and I want everybody to hold hands and make out every second, and he would say, well, that still makes you a white supremacist, because holding hands is a systemical creation in the 1920s that actually prohibited black people from using bathrooms, which makes you a white supremacist. He can word salad his way out of anything because he always has to be right. And this is my problem with the people like him and Destiny, that their whole rise to popularity was the fact that they were going out debating everybody, and there was no way that they ever thought that they could lose. So they literally will set the parameters as impossible to fucking stand up against.
Do you think it's possible? Do you think it's possible that a person could have a belief and lie about it? Do you think that's conceivable?
I do think it's conceivable.
All right, then how do we determine whether or not they have that belief?
You could always ask me.
Wait, I said they lie. So how do we determine whether or not they have that belief?
I guess you're just going to have to trust me, Vaush.
Wait, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about broadly speaking.
I guess you're just gonna have to trust me, Vaush. I fucking love that he's just already fed up with this shit. He's just fucking memeing on him now.
What do you do if they lie?
But this debate is about me.
Okay, I'm asking you a generalized question that we can apply to the context of this specific discussion. What do you do if a person lies? How do you find out what they actually believe?
I would probably say it reflects in their actions.
Oh, okay. So you're saying you can look at their actions and inductively assume their beliefs from the things they do.
Possibly. Then again, sometimes the action might not actually directly be based on what they believe.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's what we're having a discussion about. Yeah, again, like, my dude, I make edgy jokes all the time.
Oh
I
my
make
god,
racist
here
jokes.
he is, fucking, like playing into, trying to play to, what he's trying to do is trying to placate to fucking Count Dankula here. He's trying to relate to him to then try to pull Count Dankula in, but obviously Count Dankula is not a fucking retard, and anybody who would be listening here would be like, oh yeah, dude, I 100% think you're trying to relate to me right now, you fucking vicious snake in the grass.
Jokes. I make sexist jokes. I get in a lot of trouble because I'm a pretty full-on leftist over here, And I recognize that the "it's a joke" defense is actually legitimate sometimes, because sometimes it's just too funny not to say. But I also recognize sometimes people lie. And one thing that really bothers me is I feel like comedy is getting ruined by people who say they're comedians and that they're just making jokes, but all they're actually doing is using it as a cynical...
Dude, I'm so glad Vaush is here to the fucking non-funny neckbeard fucking Discord mod is here to tell us how comedy should be. I was really worried, I was like, Dave Chappelle, nah, fuck Dave Chappelle, what a fucking loser. He came back and he has like muscles now, and he's pretty fucking gay, to be honest. He's a fucking gay little cringe boy. Oh, dude, Robin Williams, dude, he was pretty fucking racist and disgusting. Did you know he did cocaine? What a fucking foul human being. No. I think comedy's been ruined over the years, since basically all time comedy's been ruined. And me, Vaush, the guy who's never actually funny, wants to tell you how comedy should be.
Vehicle to push their politics. I love comedy, I love comedy. I've loved stand-up comedians my entire life, I like to think I'm a decently funny guy. So when I watch people like nonstop just act like Nazis, but then they're like, whoa, it's just a hilarious prank, my dude, it's just a joke. What, do you hate comedy? I feel like they're kind of the ones who hate comedy, because what they're doing is they're cheapening the actual value of humor as a means of political communication, and instead they're just using it like
this is what I fucking hate about these breadtuber guys, and this is something also I think is really important, is these type of fucking individuals. It's like that dude who attacked Wendigoon because he assumed that he was conservative or whatever, in Praise of Shadows. It's what all of these fucking breadtube type guys try to do, is they try to look for inherent political biases in everything. Now, sure, you can probably find political biases in absolutely everything. You absolutely can, But the fact is, most of your normie fucking people out there aren't watching, like, Nightmare on Elm Street and thinking about the political ramifications of that movie or how it could affect liberalism or whatever. No, most people watch this shit and they're like, oh, pedophile guy killing kids in their sleep. Pretty creepy, right? He's got claws for fingers. That's wild. That's fucking... Oh, he called her a bitch. Look, that's kind of funny. That was kind of like most people watching movies. Most people aren't trying to look for the hidden political speak in everything, and that's what these type of people do. They're so fucking politically brain rotted that every time they turn everything on, they want to think about the political ramifications of everything. That's why, like, most of these like insane, like even the people like fucking Roseanne Barr. Roseanne Barr and even like Rob Schneider and shit, they literally used to be like really funny, but now their whole thing is about politics. Everything's about politics, and it's the same thing with these like weird leftist ones where they stop actually telling jokes and they just start saying political shit with like a face at the end of it, and it's not fucking funny because they're not actually thinking about the jokes that they're crafting. They're thinking about how to get their political message out there, and that ruins the joke. When you go out and just tell a joke because you want it to be fucking funny, and then it just happens to also be attached to this other movement or whatever, then yeah, you're getting your point across, but the whole bit's never just about the fucking whatever political thing you say in that 1 second. I fucking hate the way that that people in that are politically brain rotted will just try to put everything in a political box. It's so fucking retarded.
As a way of avoiding responsibility for what they believe. True comedians will engage in political commentary. Huh?
Do you do that?
No, I'm very, very open with everything I believe.
Right. So whenever you make your jokes, how do we not know that that's masking something sinister? Because I've heard some of the stuff that you've said in the past. I just recognise that it's spicy banter. Like I think on a few occasions you've said "Blast Israel" as well.
Oh yeah, I got banned off Twitch for that one.
Yeah, whenever I heard, oh, Vaush said this, Vaush said that, I was like, it's clearly a joke. He doesn't want to nuke Israel.
Well,
you see the difference? You see the difference? Like, Count Dankula is going to say a bunch of, like, jokes and shit that he doesn't actually believe because he's there because it's a funny joke and he has the moment to say them. Vaush says something, then later clarifies that it was a joke, right? He then will just say something that he believes, and this is what Hasan does all the time. Like the whole kill Rick Scott thing. He's it was a joke. It was a joke. Well, you didn't set it up as a joke. There was no setup. There was no punchline. You just said the fucking thing, and then you later tried to clarify that it was a joke. And and if like I can look at it, and I can also say that I don't think he actually, like, Hasan or actually believes that he wants to kill Rick Scott or whatever. We can say that, and then these same fucking people will be like, well, kind of. There is some truth to it. There's a nugget of truth to it, I believe, and it's just so disgusting. It's like, dude, this is why you don't understand comedy, is because you're never actually joking. You're being hyperbolic. You're just being hyperbolic for effect and not actually joking.
Well, but that's the thing though. I can defend it. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, but even when you did that little I know that was a joke. I know that.
Well, no. I mean, I got banned off Twitch for saying that, but my underlying position, which is that I think that Israel is a destructive colonial settler country that's like hurting the people of Palestine, I stand by that position. Obviously, the sentiment was hyperbolic, but even when I made that joke, Glass Israel, the underlying message was conveying a deep hatred for the country. So even though it was a joke, Twitch was right to ban me because it was the sentiment underlying it was sincere. And so,
well, here's the thing though. Here's the thing. Well, remember when he was talking earlier, not even that long ago, he talked about how he was a big free speech advocate. I'm a big proponent of free speech. If you were a big proponent of free speech, you wouldn't be talking about how Twitch was right to ban you, which is then going to lead, and the reason he's doing this is he's setting up the dominoes so that he can kind of like highlight why somebody like Count Dankula should be banned because he believes they're a white supremacist, right? It's like why he's like certain jokes shouldn't be allowed to say and they should get banned. You should get banned off the platform on them, but he shouldn't, like on most of his opinions. But he's utilizing the fact that when he did get banned, it was rightful so that he can then use it as a weaponization against Count Dankula, which is completely against his free speech argument early on.
So as somebody who's made those comments before, I know just because you're making a joke doesn't mean your hyperbole can't be masking something else. And I can defend my comments on Israel if I want to, but the point is I was hiding an underlying set of beliefs, which I just don't like the state of Israel very much.
I don't really think Twitch was right to ban you for that, if I'm being honest.
For what it's worth, I don't think it was right for you to be hit with that 800-pound fine. I don't think that was a legitimate use of state power for that Nazi pug shit.
Ooh, what a fucking snaky bullshit, bro. Like, so here's the thing. Count Dankula was being genuine there. He was being genuine because his beliefs line up with he's against censorship on platforms. So he comes out and he says like, I don't think it was right that you were banned, which I would agree. I don't think it was right that Vaush was banned. I don't like that you just ban people because they say something a little edgy, right? I'm never going to stand for that. Doesn't matter if I agree with them on issues or not. I can vehemently dislike somebody like I do Vaush or Hasan, but I don't want them deplatformed because I'm a proponent of free speech. And that's the position that Count Dankula is sitting on here. But what he did what he did was he saw an opportunity to pull in the joke where his dog heiled, right? His dog heiled, and he made a joke about his dog being a Nazi, right? And the British government then fined him, and he had to go took legal action on him for hate speech, because there's not actual free speech in the UK. So he's pulling that in to also highlight the point that Count Dankula is a Nazi, right? This is just there is nothing good faith here. He's trying to be in good faith here. This guy's a fucking dirty little piece of shit.
I don't think that was right either.
Fair enough. But one thing that I do want to get to is the beliefs that white supremacists have. Now, you no doubt have a bunch of, things that white supremacists believe. So ask me, and I'll try my hardest. And usually, whenever I get the temptation, whenever someone asks me a question, I just want to give a meme answer and wind them up, and I'll actually try my hardest to not make jokes. And I'll actually give what I really believe.
Vaush, maybe it would be helpful to pick a particular topic.
Yeah, sure. So what I had is I prepared a little bit of material. Now that's kind of cringy, a little bit of a schoolboy vibe on my part, but I was interested in getting Count Dankula's thoughts on that. And yeah, I'd love that. And
of course he prepared material, because that's his whole thing, is he brings all this material, he fucking speaks as fast as he possibly can, and he's just trying to word salad his way into a win. That's all he's doing. So he came so prepared to this, that disgustingly prepared to already, all this stuff that he's been doing was in preparation to move the goalpost and make sure that he wins this bullshit. He's being a little fucking cum goblin about the entire thing with his fucking dirty ass ponytail.
Hey, listen, if it does devolve into a bunch of shit talking, I'm pretty good at that too, so I'm prepared for both potential axes of this conversation. So, the specific reason, I didn't call you out on Twitter, I don't think. I think I said something about you on stream and somebody else tweeted at you. But the thing that I saw specifically off Twitter, it was, the tweet was you saying, since everyone is posting their political journey, and it had all these years where you were describing your political opinions at the time. And in 2003, you say communism sounds great because you were, I guess, a tanky back then, and it goes down up to modern times. And in 2019, it says, the movement I used to be a part of are the source of all of our problems. I assume you're referring to communism there? That's fine. I don't care if you're an anti-communist. And then in 2020, it says, despite, ... Now, yeah. So despite, and if there's any ambiguity to this, the comments underneath clear it up. Despite,
I can say it if you want.
Oh yeah, sure, go for it. Yeah.
Despite making up only 13% of the population, black people commit 52% of the crime.
Yeah, I've heard that one before, but from some very unsavory people.
Yeah, it's just that whenever I say that, I'm just trying to annoy people.
Okay.
I mean, this is why I followed Count Dankula on Twitter a long time ago, before I ever found his channel. So when Elon Musk took over, this is when I found out about Count Dankula. When Elon Musk took over Twitter, he had a picture that was like an AI picture of Trump on his thing, and it was like he had changed his name to Small Penis Boy or something, and Elon had put it in to fight the bots or whatever, locked everybody's name down, so he's Small Penis Boy for months. It was the best thing ever, and I was watching this guy just spiral. I had no idea who he was, but he was always saying funny fucking things, and I was watching him literally troll people into going absolutely nutso mode in his comments and shit, and I'm like, this is genius. I fucking love this guy. He's hilarious. And it was never I always looked at it was just a meme. I thought it was just a meme account. I thought it was just some fucking person made a meme account, and that was their whole life, was they memed online. That's all I ever thought he was. And then when I found his videos, I'm like, oh yeah, his whole personality is just I'm memeing, which people like this hate people like that because they think that everything has to be serious.
Right. So the comment section beneath that tweet are literally just chock full of people making racist jokes and posting racist memes. When we say a joke is racist, we're not saying the subject of that joke is racism. We're saying the joke itself is racist, that just because it's a joke doesn't mean it's not racist. So you're just trying to I don't know, you say you're trying to troll people, but your audience seems to like it. They really like the 1350 thing. I don't know who's getting upset by this.
Well, those are the people that didn't really get the point. And the people that are getting upset by it as well, you, obviously. But that's pretty much all that is. Because, I mean, it's at the point now where trolling has been around since the inception of the internet. Since the internet, I mean, even trolling's been around since fucking telephones were fucking invented.
Trolling isn't just being racist, and then people in the responses also being racist. That's not trolling.
Well, yeah, but you can't control the responses. This is such a fucking disingenuous argument from the get-go. Oh, you're supposed to, when you make a joke, you make a joke about race, right? And then somebody underneath it posts some KKK stuff. You're now attached to that. You now have to explain the understanding of actual fucking people in your comments. That makes absolutely no sense. They are not you. You are not them. There is no fucking position where that makes any fucking logical sense other than you're trying to use it as a weaponized form to take this fucker down.
I'm old enough to know what trolling used to be.
I never said that trolling is just racist. That's just a part of it. Trolling, at its most basis form, is saying or doing something absolutely outrageous to annoy every single person in the fucking room. Just pissing everybody off. And what is the biggest nuke that you can drop in a room in the 2020th year of our Lord? A racist comment.
My dude, if you wanted to get your audience upset, you should have said trans women are women. Your audience is totally fine with this. Your audience loves it. No one here is trolled. No one here is upset.
Oh my god! So no, if you said the thing I wanted you to say and not the thing that offended me, that's trolling. I see. I know the actual definition of trolling. You don't. It's so dumb. He knew the audience that he would get mad by posting that was people like fucking you. He posted it, and the people so if he would have done the opposite one, he would have had people like you who the other side would have disagreed with. So it's the same argument both sides. You're just fucking wanting it to be. You want him to troll for you. You don't want him to troll for anybody else. You want to control whatever narratives and whatever jokes that he puts out because you want him to fit your little fucking box.
No, hold on. You try to say that my audience doesn't like trans women.
Oh, well, okay, that could be a mischaracterization. Wait, that could be a mischaracterization on my part. Do you think your audience, generally speaking, respects the right for trans people to exist? And
my audience really like trans women because they have fine tastes.
So do they like trans people as in they support their right to get transitioned, they don't call them like mentally ill, or are they saying they like trans women because they like trap porn or food porn on their display?
Footers aren't traps. Footers aren't trans. That's something completely different, but I don't want to get bogged down in the details of that. But the fact is, right, you will get some people in there that will say, trans people are mentally ill, that's a man, blah, 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 and whatever, that's up to them, but there's still a large portion of my audience that are very fond of trans people and respect that trans people, if you want to get fake boobies and present yourself as a woman, that's completely your right, that's completely your business, that's nobody else's business but yours.
Right, okay. I mean, I think that's an agreeable sentiment. I'm not sure to the extent, I didn't do any research on the preponderance of trans supporters in your audience, so I'll just take you on that. I don't know how this is like trolling, I guess. This is the issue that I have with it's just a joke. Jokes generally have
I mean, dude, he's trolling, that trolled you. Obviously, you're up in your feelings about it, and you're taking it super fucking seriously, so the joke did the job. It fucking got you, Vaush. You got fucking got.
This is just you signaling racism and your audience signaling it back. Like that.
Yeah, you say an outrageous phrase. Like the whole point is the punchline of the joke isn't the phrase itself; it's everyone's reaction to it. That's what the punchline of the joke is. Everybody getting really mad. People find other people getting mad funny.
They're not mad though. They like it. I mean, I can read some of these.
You're mad. You're mad. He got you, bro. You got fucking got, my dog.
People got mad. I mean, a bunch of people fucking screenshotted it and tweeted it at you, going, "Look at me. He said that. He said this. He said that." That's
yeah,
funny.
My audience, but your audience likes it. Do you think your audience might be cool with racism, kind of?
Oh my god.
Maybe some of them, but not all.
Oh my god, dude. So disingenuous. See, he's mad. He got him. This is what's so great about it. It is the punchline of the joke is Vaush. Vaush is the punchline of the joke, and he doesn't fucking get it. He doesn't understand that he's the punchline. He's the demographic that gets mad. And the fact that he doesn't get the joke is why, his whole appeal to I'm a funny boy too makes no sense, because he takes everything too fucking serious. He takes everything at face value.
I didn't say all, but most of the people in the responses here, if they're not talking about your wife,
dude, he's just fucking vitriolically going through the responses now. This is what all these God, they're so disingenuous.
Cookies, which I guess was some separate thing, are affirming your racist beliefs, but they don't seem to be doing it as a joke. They're just being racist, unless you think
how do you know that? How do you know that?
Well, that's the thing. We can't deductively, but you realize what we've retreated to right now, right? So you posted something racist, which it is the 1350 thing. I mean, that's obviously racial dog whistling, and your audience responded with racism, and everyone here is being racist, and your whole community is in on the racism. I don't know what the joke is.
It's not the whole community. The joke is everybody getting really, really, really mad about it. Say, for example, one thing that I used to do, my old Auntie Kathy, God rest her soul, fucking, she is the most militant Christian that I have ever come across in my entire life, right? Because me and my wife were living together, before we got married, we actually had to hide that from her because she's that militantly Christian. And I used to sit at the dinner table and say, you know what, I've been reading up a lot on Satan. I actually think Satan's a pretty cool guy. I think what God did to him was pretty out of line. And she used to get so fucking angry at me for saying shit like that. Now, I don't fucking believe in Satan. I don't believe in any of that airy-fairy fucking shit. but I used to just do it just to wind her up, just because I thought that her little sense of self-righteousness, getting all mad and shit, you know, this
Exactly, dude. And this is like what's so funny about this whole thing, and why I haven't like skipped forward, because I was gonna skip through this a little bit, but because when I got bored, but I haven't got bored yet, because this is so funny that he's talking about winding him up, and Vaush is wound up like doom scrolling through this guy's comments on this tweet because he can't get the joke.
short, furious Irish women. I thought that was fucking hilarious.
Do you actually
Just the
believe in
same as-
Satan?
No, I don't believe it's Satan. I don't
Okay,
actually believe
just curious.
that shit.
Do you think
That's-
there might be a
that-
difference between you riling up a person who you know is going to be mad about it and you being racist to your audience of hundreds of thousands of people while your audience actually likes it and engages in unironic signaling of racism back?
The vast majority of them get that it's ironic.
This is what I mean by ruining like comedy. This isn't a joke.
Oh my god, dude. You're ruining comedy. Bro, you just don't get the joke because the joke is you. You're the fucking joke, and he doesn't like being a punchline. That's, like, this is the most fucking hilarious thing I've ever seen, because, just because he's the punchline, and he doesn't get it. This is so brilliant.
If you want to say it's just
It's
shock
not a
humor,
joke.
well,
It's
it's
a
not. Well, I'm not just saying it's not funny. It's literally not a joke. I mean, you can make the argument that like there's this funny like meta-ironic discourse going on in your community, and that's fine. But I mean, from an inductive perspective, the far more likely like outcome here is just that you're racist and your audience is racist, and we are nowhere near the end of
But-
evidence to that claim.
But when I said that, you can't deductively think that that is what was in my mind.
Well, I can't deductively
Well,
reason
yeah,
anything
that's
about
it.
what anyone believes. But in your own
Yeah,
words,
exactly.
we would have to look at a person's actions, and we would have to infer from the things that they do what they actually
Okay
believe.
then. So, are we going to look at tweets that I've done, or are we going to look at actual real world actions, stuff that I've done?
Well, a tweet is an action. You
No, it's,
Okay, I know, but that's some pixels on a screen. What about some real world shit?
wait,
What about
wait.
real world?
see, this is where it all falls apart, because he makes jokes. He makes jokes on his Twitter, and this is where people like him conflate words and like jokes as actions. They don't actually look at real world actions. In their mind, once you say a joke that has like certain connotations, oh well, obviously that is an action. You are acting in talking's an action. It's just all fucking goalposts. It's all fucking straw man arguments. It's just disgusting. I fucking hate this shit.
Racism isn't racism if it's done online.
When did I say that?
Well, you just implied a distinction between pixels on a screen and real world shit. I mean, you affect literally hundreds of thousands of people online. You should know that more than anyone because you're a public figure online, right?
Okay then. Okay, in regards to that, I was meaning like stuff actual in the real world, like actual tangible, like stuff, physical things, you know, physical actions.
I don't think that's in any way related. Physical? Do you mean like a video of you like beating up a black guy while saying I hate black people? I don't think that's necessary to inductively reason out your beliefs. If I didn't know a person like in real life at all, I just knew their Twitter persona. I think they could still do things on that Twitter account to make me think they're a racist.
Well, see the sheer amount of people on the left that I've actually met in real life and have completely changed their mind about the way about what they think of me.
Oh, like
Because
who?
they realise that I'm not actually like that. In fact, there was one boy. It was actually a group of trans people when I was at Comic Con, and basically they said that they didn't like my beliefs and stuff like that. But we actually bonded over our hatred of Graham Linehan. So that was actually very nice. One of them did come up to me afterwards and shake my hand and said, "I hope you turn away from white supremacy." And I was just like,
Hey, look at that. We're a comrade to the end. Look at that. Even hey, I can break bread with people I disagree with. You know, I'm actually fairly amicable as far as online lefties go. But I got other people to account for their beliefs.
Oh my god.
No, I do that all the time. They say, well, that's the thing is, there's one of the things that gets used on me all the time is, oh, you've only spoken at right wing conservative free speech events. Why is that? And I'm just like, it's because the left don't have any.
Well, that's because the left doesn't need free speech events because the left isn't getting like banned off platforms for being Nazis. Usually, the reason why the ultra free speech.
Well, see, but here's the thing. Here's the slippery slope bullshit. Is their beliefs, and well, actually, he can't even use that argument because he got banned off of fucking Twitch for his speech. So he is categorically wrong in his own argument from earlier on. This is. But he's gonna utilize the goalpost shifting of social media that has an inherent left wing value system to then try to proposition the fact that, well, all left-wing people are good and all right-wing people are bad. It's just so disgusting when there's an inherent bias on the platform. Now, I'm not saying all right-wing people are good and don't say awful shit, because they do, absolutely, but it's just such a bad fucking argument.
No, hold on. Don't turn around and say that that's the only reason that the right wing.
It's one of the bigger reasons, I'd say. It's a
Okay,
large,
it's
significant,
one of,
perhaps.
It's
portion.
one of. It's not all. There are people out there that are literally getting fucked over by speech laws who barely even fucking did anything.
Well, I'm not talking about speech laws. I'm talking about like online stuff. I'm an anarchist. I very rarely will I support the state invoking state power against a person for things they believe. Like, that'd be extreme shit for me to believe in something like that. But when it comes to online platforms, pretty much most of the people mad over it are either Nazis or lying. I know that, for example, TPUSA had a big event.
That's a fair framing. That's a very fair framing.
Oh, well, wait, if you disagree, like, who is suffering right now from like deplatforming who you don't think meets that characterization?
Funnily enough, there's actually been a lot of people on the left who've been getting deplatformed because they're not left enough. Like, for example, Christina Summers is one
Christina
of them as well.
Summers is not on the left, and she is not deplatformed. What platform has she been taken off of?
Universities, have you not seen people charging in and fucking drums and rushing her on
Oh,
stage?
that's not. Wait, that's free speech. I thought you were like a libertarian. Yeah, that's totally fine. Counter protests are part of the process. Yeah, I thought you meant like getting banned off YouTube and Twitter and stuff.
No, you've heard the whole phrase. You know, your right to swing your fist ends at my nose.
Well, I didn't.
Yeah,
did they hit her? I mean, I don't agree with that.
No, it's the fact is, like, you are absolutely allowed to have your rights. You're not allowed to use your rights to infringe on another person's rights.
I don't think a person has like a God-given right to present to the college campus without being counter-protested. That's free speech. Like, you're attacking free speech, like the sovereign right of citizens to challenge like the platform.
No, here's the difference. Okay, like, I don't know what happened with this Christina Summers bitch. I have no fucking idea who she is. But like, let's say you're having like a thing at a college where you're in one of those like college big college rooms, and I just think it's so funny that there'll be people that'll throw protests and try to disrupt the event. Now it's not like you standing outside presenting your protest, you're protesting outside. It's not really affecting the speaker in its speaking and while they're speaking, but once it becomes like in the auditorium and you're affecting like not only the people there who came to hear this person speak, but you're also affecting the speaker. It's no longer about free speech. It's one, it usually comes down to trespassing. Two, it's also like you're being disruptive to be disruptive, and you're infringing on the rights of everyone there, right? It's not like you're banned from saying this stuff. You're supposed to listen to the speaker. There's rules and stuff about like that the building and the actual place puts on. I mean, it's just kind of like when you see like online, these companies have like some authority to take stuff down because they're seen as their own entity. Now, I think that the online shouldn't get the same protections or shouldn't be able to do as much taking down that like colleges and stuff can do, because they live under Section 230, which the Constitution like provides them the ability to stay up and to stay open platforms because they're places of free speech, when they're actually doing the opposite. But at the same time, like, these colleges don't even have to sit under the same thing as Section 230. I mean, it's like if somebody comes into your house, starts calling you a racist, and then you try to kick them out, right? That's more of the premise that I'm building up.
Forms of people who present at universities.
Right. Free speech if you don't allow the other person to speak.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't allow them to counter-protest. I don't know, like, you're Scottish, I'm American, like, maybe rebellion's born in my blood or something, but like, I think counter-protesting is super important.
No, counter-protesting is absolutely fine. I encourage it. I've been at events where protesters have came and gave us shit, and I've defended the rights of the protest. Well, I've defended the right to protest right up until they start throwing bricks at us and beating up women. That was a little bit of an issue. But
if Christina Hoff Sommers was physically attacked, I do denounce that. I'm not actually familiar with the specifics, but if people were just protesting, I'm fine with that. What I meant to say, and I want to clarify, was when I say like people are being deplatformed for being Nazis, I mean like on YouTube and Twitter. Like, these people are normally very far right for them to get like their channels cut, you know?
That's not true. I mean, that's just not true. I mean, look at Leafy. I mean, Leafy wasn't like very far right when he got kicked out. Now I think he is, but at the time he was deplatformed for what seemed like nothing, just because he was saying edgy humor on the platform. So there is examples of people who just lose their entire fucking livelihood because they used to make jokes and now those jokes weren't allowed anymore. So there were examples. He just Count Eagle is just kind of not presenting them.
Right. Okay then. So what about I forget the name of the news publication. I've actually completely forgotten the name of it. It was posting information about the Chinese COVID virus, and it was censored. It was they had their Twitter.
Epoch Times.
It wasn't Epoch. It was something else.
I'm not familiar with the specifics of that story. If I looked at it, like, I don't know, there are some things I disagree with. I just meant like when we're talking about deplatforming, I meant like big tech companies.
How about we go back to the whole white supremacy thing?
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to say things that basically a white supremacist would believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for example, ask me, do I feel the white race is superior to all other races? Ask me.
I mean, I think you're. Oh, sure. Do you think the white race is superior to all other races?
100%. I'm sorry, I said I wouldn't give me answers. I'm sorry. My real answer is no. I don't believe.
Okay,
that.
but I can't.
Ask me. Do I believe in an ethno state?
Would you mind if, after you answer that question, I follow it up with some follow-up questions on the ethno-state question?
Absolutely.
Okay, wonderful. Do you believe in an ethno-state?
No.
Okay, wonderful. All right, I have a couple of questions for you on that specific issue. So, in August 28th, 2018, you tweeted, "I am absolutely fine with the."
Oh God. Here we go, dude. He's so excited, bro.
Replacement of white people as long as it's legal. That's great. I mean, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what that?
Well, no,
What do you
wait,
mean by that?
that's an argument.
That was me taking the piss out of something Theresa May said.
Well, do you agree with that sentiment?
What, the replacement of white people as long as it's legal?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, would it be illegal? I mean, I suppose if they were loading them onto trains, you know, that'd probably be a bit illegal. But I mean, I don't feel that white people are being removed.
Yeah, okay. So you're okay with America and Scotland and all the other cool countries in the world having pretty much any ethnic composition.
I mean, if that's what happens, that's what happens.
Okay, but you're fine with that. Like, and you think that people who oppose that are probably in the wrong? Because people who oppose that would be ethno-staters by definition, as long as we're talking about legal immigration.
By the time it happens, I'll be long fucking dead. Why would I give a shit?
Okay, so you think it's fine. There's no reason why people should feel as though they need to like defend their countries.
Well, defend our country. Well, it depends what you mean. I mean, if we're being attacked by a foreign nation, then we should defend our country.
Right, sure. I mean, like, defend. When I say defend their countries, I'm like invoking like the language of like white supremacists or white nationalists. Like, defend your countries against immigration. So you're totally cool. You don't have a problem at all with like any ethnic composition coming to America or Scotland, as long as they do so like legally and aren't, you know.
Yeah, that's fine.
Like, you don't.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of my position. If people come into a country legally, I think there is. I have no qualms. I don't think anybody has any qualms about people coming into a country legally. I think where the problem is where it's like illegal immigration, or there is an issue where it's not just, and this isn't about like race or anything, it's where a country just doesn't have the means to like let's say a country is only set up for X amount of people, right? Like they do the studies. They're like, okay, we can only with the rapid growth of our population, by letting more people in, this is only gonna make things worse if we have like rampant immigration, right? So then they cut down immigration to everybody. Right, that's the way I see it. It's like if you have an immigration problem in a country where your housing prices have skyrocketed to the point where citizens can't fucking afford anything, but you haven't put in any laws to say like, yeah, dude, we're struggling here to where like the people who already live here are struggling. Why the fuck would we allow more people to immigrate to our country? That's my position on it. It's like you shouldn't put the detriment of your entire society down to let like 80,000 people from fucking France move into your country. And I'm using France because like a lot of people are like, oh well, you're just saying you don't want brown people in the country. No, I wouldn't want like if a country can't handle having more people, it doesn't matter what fucking color they are. They can't handle having more people.
See, you don't see like immigrants coming into the country and like having higher birth rates, for example. You don't see that as an assault on your country. That's
with babies.
The white supremacists and white nationalists would say that would genocide.
Babies are marching over the horizon. They're all heavily armed. They're coming for the white people.
Generally speaking, immigrants commit less crime than the native population. As they assimilate, the rates of crime actually go up because they're becoming more like us. At least that's the case here in America. It's different with refugees, of course, because they're fleeing from much worse circumstances. But yeah, so the funny thing is that underneath that tweet, a bunch of people call it bait. So you said it was, bait. Which is strange to me because the sentiment, I don't care, I'm perfectly fine with the replacement of white people as long as it's legal, is what you just said to me. You just said that. But back in this tweet, you said it was bait.
Yeah, but I knew it would annoy people.
Yep, exactly. So he annoyed his fan base, but when it annoyed you, it's just all about him getting baited. Now there's a part here that says the most replayed, so I'm gonna go to here and see what happens.
Just what in the way that you're using it here, just
yeah, that would basically be it. But I mean, if we want to talk about the BNP or the EDL, like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, no, I didn't come here to argue whether or not like a fascist is a fascist. Like, I think this should be pretty self-evident to anyone even remotely familiar.
Okay, so basically, Tommy Robinson is a fascist. It's not up for debate. The authority known as Vaush has decided. My word
no,
is law,
it would be like if I came here and I said,
questioned.
It would be like if I came here and I said Obama is a liberal, and you said, what? No, Obama is a communist. And like, okay, like I can argue this, but it's not what I came here to do, and I think it should be self-evident to any reasonable person what his political predilections are.
Well, this is the thing too. I hate when people on the right call everybody on the left a communist, and I hate when people on the left call everybody on the left everybody on the right fascist. I think it is fucking brainlet behavior, and he engages with this on a day-to-day basis. But it's only but he only likes to call out the right-wing people who call people like Obama communist, but he doesn't actually want to use that same thought process onto his own rhetoric.
I mean, you can say he's not a fascist if you want. I think that he poses a very legitimate threat to free speech and human rights, and I think that getting some retaliatory violence is a pretty reasonable thing, considering the fact that he wants to advocate for like a literal fascist state, you know?
No, that's not what he's
because I'm pro free speech, by the way. I think
me too. It's just that
no, he's not. Vaush has already proven it. And like I know I've skipped like a fucking hour into this because I wanted to see the most played part. But he does not stand for free speech. He's already proven that.
Pro free speech, and I'm using my free speech to call out your speech, although free, but it's also incorrect. It's just if you lie, I'm going to correct you. That's all.
So can we move on from Tommy here? Because
he literally, his Wikipedia page calls him a neo-fascist and a white nationalist.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Wikipedia.
Oh yeah, wait, I'm sorry, I forgot. The Jews at Wikipedia. Is there another source, maybe from Tommy Robinson, TommyRobinson.uk, that you can point me to that paints him as a little bit less of a fascist?
No, because that's exactly what I said. I said that the Jews control Wikipedia. That's exactly what I said.
I argue with a lot of people who tell me that my sources are invalid because they come from Semitic sources, so I'm not entirely sure anymore. But no.
Oh my God, dude! Look, dude, the Jews control everything, dude. It's like. This is just so fucking skeevy, bro. It's just so fucking skeevy because he, in his mind, he's already decided that Count Dankula is the same as Nick Fuentes, so he's using the same arguments he would use against somebody like Nick Fuentes, which is just so disingenuous.
That was a joke. I don't actually think you're an anti-Semite. He might be. I'm not actually sure. I'm not.
No. Tommy, one thing about Tommy, the far right fucking hate Tommy Robinson, and this is the thing, is like, if there's one thing that you should probably personally hate Tommy Robinson for, is he is extremely pro-Israel.
Oh yeah, I see. Robinson denies racism and anti-Semitism. Well, I question the racism thing, but anti-Semitism has declared a support for the Jewish people in Israel, calling himself. Damn, no wonder the far right hates him. Dude's a Zionist. Okay, so he's not an anti-Semite, right? He's still a fascist, but yeah. I mean, credit where credit's due.
So, could we move on from Tommy, and Vaush, could you prompt
Can I say what I want? I just want, more white supremacist beliefs, right? Just ask me if there's certain things that I believe in.
I don't care what you. So why do we keep going?
That's the point of the debate.
No, the point. Wait, then if that was the point of the debate, when they come here in 5 minutes after I ask you, hey, do you believe in racism? You'd say no, and then we'd leave. Like, what's the point of that?
So Vaush, obviously, if you ask a person directly, like, "Hey, are you a racist?" or obviously,
dude, I skipped like an hour into this video, and fucking Count Dankula is still just begging Vaush to actually stay on topic because Vaush is pulling all this random bullshit. And so we skipped an hour of Vaush pulling random bullshit out of his ass to try to paint Dankula as a fascist neo-Nazi, but not actually asking him any of the things that pertain to it.
I know, but maybe you could prompt another topic that white nationalists fundamentally care about.
Maybe that's why Count Dankula doesn't think Tommy Robinson is a fascist, because he asked. Yeah, okay. You're pro-immigration, right?
Pro-immigration, yeah.
Okay, sick. Yeah, me too.
Not uncontrolled immigration, not over the top, but immigration itself, fine.
Yeah, sure. By over the again, I'm more comfortable with American numbers here, just because I'm a fucking burger muncher. But with right now in America, we get about 1 million to 1.1 million people every year, immigrants. Does that sound like a reasonable? Like, do you instinctively react negatively to that number, or does that sound like fine as long as we incorporate them appropriately?
No. So a lot of wage slaves, man.
What would be the parameters to which you would be against immigration, or not against it, not the concept, but the levels?
See, if it was getting to the point, well, this is the issue that I have. See, when it comes to unskilled minimum wage jobs, like this is the thing that this is the thing that I've experienced. In fact, see, when it comes to unskilled minimum wage jobs, the market is beyond fucking competitive, like beyond competitive. Oh, yeah. Whereas, and see if it then gets to the point where like companies are just going to drop down the benefits, drop down the wages, drop down the hours. They can offer any old dog shit terms for better jobs because because there's so many unskilled workers. There's going to be someone in there that'll take it. Basically, I just feel that too much immigration overall actually increases poverty because companies have a huge wealthy people and they're going to find someone among them that's going to take their absolute dog shit terms for a job.
Could I convince you that this isn't the case and actually immigration bolsters the economic productivity of a country in every conceivable way?
Yeah, there's not mass immigration. I mean, what if America took in like fucking 10 million people?
Well, that'd probably be too much. But the current amount of immigration we have in the country.
Yeah, that's what I'm against. I don't want to be too much when it actually starts causing severe problems.
Oh, sure. Okay, yeah.
If it's at a manageable level, then whatever, that's fine.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, that seems fine to me. I mean, obviously, I want open borders eventually, but I wouldn't want them today. Like, I don't know if
open. Dude, like. this is where it becomes to where I have issues. Like open borders, all it does is like we have a mass influx of people to the point that we can't like everybody's gonna be living worse for that. That's the problem. You have mass immigration to the point that everybody's struggling. That's just not the way you do it. You have to like. You have to set, like, every country has immigration laws for a reason. You just can't be the place that, like, allows everybody in, because eventually it'll get to the point where everybody will start leaving again because you just destroyed the entire fucking place.
Infrastructure could handle that.
No, I couldn't. If we just went full open borders, half the fucking world would come here.
Yeah, well, that's why we have to bolster all the developing nations. That way we need to make them... The world I dream of is a world where the United States can open its borders because everyone would rather go and live in Nicaragua. That, to me, that's a beautiful world, all right? We don't even need to worry about it.
I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that. I do. That means that, which is why I want China to get the fuck out of Africa.
So we can get the fuck in Africa?
No, I want China to get the fuck out of Africa. They're fucking raping that place.
Oh, hey, hello. Ooh, oh, okay,
No,
all right.
China,
Just making sure we're not doing horseshoe. Yeah, based. Okay, fine with me. Fuck yeah.
No, China, it's far too much to go into, but China are being absolute fucking scumbags to Africa right now. Like, honestly, they're bleeding the place dry.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I
Is
can't.
that an anti-imperialist sentiment?
I don't want to conquer anybody. I'm not into colonialism or like, you know, but I know that British foreign policy for a few centuries was going over to a random place, sticking a flag in the ground and butchering the locals. Like, I'm not really down with that. No, I'm not down with getting into tanks and, you know, getting some Lebensraum or anything like that. No, that's not my jam.
All right, well, do you worry about the future at all? I mean, it's pretty much a fact that far-right sentiments are on the rise pretty much across the world right now. It seems to be a product of a lot of things, economic anxiety, stressors concerning global climate change, that kind of stuff. Does it worry you at all, like, we're heading in a direction where like, the real enemy for you isn't, like, the SJWs, and the real enemy for me isn't, like, the tankies or whatever, but we're going to be facing an existential threat from, like, fascism pretty soon?
No, the real enemy for me is, and this would be far left or far right, the reason that my primary focus right now is the far left is because right now the far right, I'm not saying that it's never going to happen, a far right person will never end up in power, right? But right now, like in Britain, we have a lot of far left. I mean, we've got the Labour Party, they like unironically refer to each other as comrade.
Hey,
Right,
whoa, let's not, hey, watch the friendly fire, buddy. Me and my fans are big old, it's all ironic, of course.
I mean, that's the thing is, like, picture that you obviously have a problem with, like, the far right. Picture if you had, like, a political party that unironically referred to each other as fucking Obergruppenführer or some shit. You would have an eyebrow raised going,
Do you think
wait,
comrade and Obergruppe? Wait, do you think I'm calling, like, do you think what I do with my comrades over here is bad, like the Nazis?
No, what I'm saying is, basically, the reason I've got more of my primary fear, my biggest fear in the future is a totalitarian government. It could be right wing, it could be left wing. That's my biggest fear. Like, my primary concern is the government itself. I don't want the government having absolute control over, you know, every single facet of our lives. You know, the far right want that, the far left want that. The reason that my primary focus is on the far left is there are people in the far left right now that do actually have institutional power. Like, we have far left parties, we have far left MPs and everything, and that is why I've got a problem. And they're the ones that are constantly trying to pass all the speech laws right now. So that's why
but isn't Boris Johnson your PM right now?
Boris Johnson's a fud. Like, see,
well, I agree, he's an idiot, but like, he's the one who's.
When it comes to freedom of speech, like, this is the thing, is right. Labour.
Well, anyway, I think I've seen enough of this. I mean, the point is, the whole premise of this video was just kind of to point out that none of these people come in good faith. I mean, none of this shit is ever in good faith. I mean, like, you can agree, like, this is where we're going to see, like, Boris Johnson was an idiot back, like, everybody agreed he was an idiot. The right agreed he was an idiot, the left agreed he was an idiot. The only person that Boris Johnson ever looked smarter than was Biden, which is sad. But it's just this whole fucking, the reason I said that there's so many videos out there of Biden going to talk and Boris Johnson like fucking shoving his hand in his face like, hey, shut the fuck up, dude, and Biden just shut the fuck up. When Boris Johnson has the ability to tell you to shut the fuck up, you are not a great, you're not a very like good leader. Anyways, what I was gonna say about this whole thing is it's just like this shit never gets anywhere, and it's just kind of like why I don't see a point in debating with these type of people, because they honestly, like, even when they find stuff that they agree with you on, and they then will find something else that they won't be able to look at themselves internally and say like, oh yeah, maybe that would make sense. Because even here where Dankula is trying to say like, oh well, I want you to put yourself in a right-wing position for a second, and you saw a party that was coming up that was like, yeah, communism is the best thing, and you're like, yeah, that's a little fucking extreme there, pal, and they had power, wouldn't you be fucking upset? And then he's like, well, no, but like communism, they're the good guys, but ironically, but no, they're the good guys, we call each other comrade. And it's like, it's the inability to see things from the other perspective, and that's a huge problem for like these politically brain rotted pieces of shit out there, right? These fucking cum goblins don't want to ever take the time, and they talk about empathy, they talk about all this other shit, but they don't ever actually, or empathy and diversity and shit, but they don't ever engage with any empathetic thought or diversive thought, right? They only want to see things from their fucking perspective. They want everything is in their worldview, and if it doesn't match their worldview, it's a problem and it's the enemy. And that if you go to that train of thinking, you have fucking destroyed your mind. You fucking have basically become a little fucking douchebag, a taint sniffer, right? You're a fucking taint sniffer. All you do is crawl around on your back, like reverse crab rocking around, trying to get a fucking sniff of everybody's taint at the grocery store, right? So if that's your entire mindset, you're fucking brain dead, dude. You're brain dead in the absolute most fucking generous look at the look at the definition of brain dead. You basically are lobotomized because you're so fucking entrenched in your own thought process that you're not willing to look at things from multiple different assets and multiple different points of view. You're not like, oh well, this angle is saying this right now, well what if I look at it this angle, right? What if I do it this way? You never have that perspective, and that is only gonna make you a fucking moron, because you should be able to be willing to look into and see things from every other perspective. And I think that's really important. And here's the thing, dude, somebody who like does like comedy and shit, they look at things from a bunch of different perspectives, and they figure out how to piss everybody off. They figure out how to make trolls where some people will be really happy and then other people will be really mad. It's the reasons why things like South Park have stayed, and things like The Simpsons has been like on a hard decline for a long time, losing viewers and shit, because it's not funny anymore. But South Park seems to press the right buttons and piss the right people off in almost every direction they go about it. It doesn't matter if you agree with them or disagree with them in that current episode, there's going to be shit that makes you laugh and also makes you annoyed. That's the balance they ride, and that's like what makes like a good troll, somebody who's good at trolling is they know how to press the right buttons at the right time. And I think Count Dankula understands that. Vaush will never have the ability to understand that, because it's only funny when he agrees with it. And that's the problem, and that's why they don't understand comedy, because comedy, you should never always agree with somebody's comedy. There should be times where it makes you a little uncomfortable, or pushes a button that maybe you don't like, and it's like, wow, I didn't think that was funny. And then the next joke hits and you're like, oh, okay, that one's fucking funny. But it makes you like bend your thought process to where everything's a troll, everything's a bit, and you're having fun with it. That's like the whole enjoyment of the entire situation. But you look at Vaush and he doesn't understand how to have fun with that. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.